This is just a view of the right end of the machine when we're in here for maintenance. The belts have been adjusted and everything on it. If they were squealing on startup, the nut on the top and the bottom, you could tension the V-belts on there. This is the regulator for the compressed air and everything. Up here on top, these cylinders are what makes this head number 1 track and head number 2 track. And the way they work is when the electric eye is cut at the other side, the cylinder goes in or out. On the end of these, there's a little flow valve in here, so a small flat-bladed screwdriver can adjust the needle valve to adjust how fast this comes out, and a spring pulls it back. So you want it to come out not too fast, but you know, out about like this and back. These have all been set. And if the belt doesn't track, you know, about once a second, so it's back and forth about once a second at an even speed, so if it travels this way, we want it to come back about the same speed. That's adjusted by finding the sweet spot. Put an Allen wrench in here, and the previous owner actually had a hole drilled in the door so they could reach in here with a T-handle so they didn't have to open the door, because there is an interlock and a switch up there. Talk about that in a second, but you can put the Allen wrench in here, just turn this and find the sweet spot. It's on an eccentric, so you know, there's a full circle is going to make it go all the way back and all the way forward. This doesn't need to be adjusted, it's pretty close, so it should be, you know, somewhere in the middle of this. The other thing to note in here, I pointed out early, these, when the belt's under tension, these V little brackets here, these limit switches, if the belt comes over, it hits the switch, knocks it out like it just did, or if the belt broke and it went up, the little bar here would hit the switch, or if it went down, you lost air pressure, it would hit the switch. And it's simply adjusted by 2 screws up here, but it needs to be in about the center of that little roller switch. You want to keep this door locked because the wind from the belts will blow it open, and it'll trigger this little switch right here. And the way that works, the set screw is on here and gets tightened on this shaft, and it's got a little dent in it, indentation, and when you open the door, it turns and plunges on that switch, makes the plunger plunge in. So anyway, that's overridden there just for maintenance. We'll tighten that cam back up, and then you have to keep this door closed. You want it closed because the belts are exposed and things in the back, the drive belts. So these bed rollers have been leveled with the feed mat underneath, right under the center. There's a little jack screw. These need to be with a long straight edge coming off the feed mat. We make these level on both sides. This knob down here spins fast. It actually, you can manually, if I turn that by hand and you watch the thickness, you can see I'm making it move slowly. So that's the manual override. That's really the shaft of the motor in there. So when I hit the up and down, it's actually spinning. So